Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Automating the Trades. This is the second episode in our series where we at the Graphite Lab are going to go through some problems that some of our customers, as well as just some other trades businesses have run into and walk through how to solve them live with you. We are here with Jacob Nolly, who is our CEO and founder, and I'll be running through a list of some of the problems that we've run into and how we think would be the best way to solve them. I'll just start going down the list if that sounds good to you, Jacob.
Awesome. Yeah, excited to hop in.
Perfect. So the next problem that someone submitted, they said, I'm running into an issue with managing tasks after a full system install. I need a way to automatically create a task for Amy once the job is complete. The task should remind her to enter the model and serial numbers from the technician's photos and to register the warranty. Right now, it's all manual and I'm worried things might slip through the cracks.
Perfect. So this one is a pretty classic workflow that we run into a lot here at the Graphite Lab. When customers are really trying to build one of the major pain points that a lot of our customers run into is task management. How do we make sure that if something happens, the right people are doing the right things at the right time? That is a classic problem that any business runs into. And especially when you were doing the volume and the repeat of a lot of these jobs that skilled trade businesses are running into, it becomes really monotonous to be tracking that stuff manually. So a lot of our customers here, they leverage ServiceTitan. And so this works for any kind of an ERP system now, but in this situation, we'll talk ServiceTitan. Basically, the way that we'll set this one up is we'll query jobs. The nice thing is here, there's two real options when we're querying jobs in ServiceTitan. You can query appointments or you can query jobs. In this situation, the person is asking for when the whole job, the installed job is complete. The reason that we would pick query jobs here and not query appointments is because one job could have many appointments. And so we wouldn't want to trigger every single time one of those sub appointments completes. We want to trigger when the job completes. So that's basically what we would do there. Typically, you would want to filter you completed on. So basically, we always recommend making this window really small, as we could talk about with dates here on our channel. It's really important when you're querying APIs that you lower the possible pool of results because these are dynamically being called to a very small window so that you can ensure that anything that qualifies lands in your response. So really, they're going to return 100 like outcomes. And so what I always do is I say, if you want it completed right now, I always say do now, have it completed on or after the now minus 1H. Again, you're going to do a space minus 1H. That's the syntax for an hour ago. And then for now. The thing to note is when it's doing these queries, it's doing them in your time zone. If you're using ServiceTitan, it's really important to note that for it to match, your time zone needs to match the ServiceTitan time zone inside of Zapier. If they don't match, there might be some misalignments with what we're actually querying, and the Zap might take longer to pull than you think. But basically, that's what we'll do. And then we will click continue. That'll basically pull in a test job. And then basically what we want to do is, okay, now what? The first thing that we always recommend that you do, if you have Zaps that are going to trigger all the time, for instance, if it's an install, you want it to trigger, but maybe you might have multiple different job types that are associated with install. So what we'll do here, the first step in Zapier, you're charged by completed tasks. So it's always important to remember that you want to not run forward until you're sure that the data that you're working with is good. So inside of Zapier, they don't charge for filter steps. So you'll always do a filter step second. One of the nice things about our custom ServiceTitan Zapier app that when we build workflows for our customers, inside of Zapier, we actually hydrate a ton of data into the initial response. And so it does reduce those additional tasks. So for instance, instead of having to query the customer to tell whether or not they're residential or commercial, we actually just fed that information immediately. So it basically reduced the cost of running Zapier. So here we'll put in any of our filters. So job types, business units, you name it. Maybe we want to do only over a certain sold threshold, whatever that looks like. Put in our filters here, and et cetera. And then what we will do is our action step will basically be to create a task management task somewhere. And so that can be directly in ServiceTitan or associated to the original job. You use other tools to do task management like Monday.com or Jira or Notion or anything like that, Google Sheets even. That's one of the really cool things about working with the Graphite Lab and solving problems. Using these custom tools is it really allows us to make them work for your business processes. Instead of you having to follow a certain process or procedure, it really allows us to play with the tools that you and your team effectively use. Yeah, that's basically how you build that out.
I think this next one will be a great example of customization as well. This third problem, thank you everyone for joining episode 2 of Automating the Trade. If you are interested in implementing any of these apps in your business or anything similar, getting eyes on your technology, on your automations, be sure to reach out in the link in our description. We'd be happy to chat with you.